Welcome to Business Voice, a program of the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce. Each month, we'll feature business and community leaders sharing their stories, initiatives, concerns, and passions. Learn practical information regarding community resources and opportunities. Now, the host of Business Voice, Greece Regional Chamber President and CEO, Sarah Lentini.
Welcome, everybody. This is Sarah Lentini, and you're listening to Business Voice, a program of the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce, sponsored by Bartolomeo and Perotto Funeral Home. We've got wonderful guests lined up for you today, starting with my first guests from Dell's Market in Deli, Bill and Patty Dell, and they are the winners of the 2019 Small Business Awards. Welcome, Bill and Patty.
Thank you, Sarah.
Fantastic. So you've been, I know, very busy and hopefully also enjoying, somewhat celebrity status in these last couple of weeks. And we just are so proud that you're in the Greece Regional Chamber membership and everything that you've accomplished in what I think is a relatively short period of time, right? Let's start with Dell's Market in Deli. Where is it and what is it?
Go ahead, Betty. So we are located at 1799 English Road in the town of Greece, and we have a wonderful location. So it's on a corner of English and Long Pond Road. So we have 2 ins and 2 outs to the store, and that's very important because we have a lot of service people that come in, people that are fencing people that are road people, and they have large equipment. So they need to pull in, and they can actually pull around the back of the building and out.
That's great. And you have a lot of inventory, don't you?
We do have
That's why this becomes so important.
Yes.
Because you're a market in a deli, and I might think that I know what that is, but I have a memory of seeing some stuff that you have on a regular basis that's kind of unusual, right?
It is. I'll have Bill talk about it because it's really his creation. It's something that he's dreamed about for years and years and years. Worked for 30 years for Wegmans, which is a wonderful company, and it gave him all the wonderful training to be able to go out in our retirement years and open up our own business.
That sounds great.
So really, 32 years ago, started at Wegmans, traveled a good chunk of the world, good chunk of the United States.
Did you?
Took many, many pictures around and saw things that I loved and still have those pictures today. And really kind of had that concept of someday, who knows what'll happen. And about 10 years before I retired, I gave the owner of the convenience store my business card and said, when you're ready to sell, make me your first phone call. So every year, nothing, hey, just a reminder. And after 10 years, I got a call that said, hey, we're ready to sell the deli. Are you interested? And I said, absolutely. So I went home, said, Patty, well, guess what phone call I got today? No, we're not doing it. We're too close to retirement.
I said, are you kidding me? We are so close to retiring. Why do we want to do this?
But we really talked about it. Patty's background, chief finance officer. My background with Wegmans, I was one of the first chefs for Wegmans. So I've got the culinary background, and then I oversaw the deli and the specialty cheese area and the entertainment for Wegmans.
Oh, wow. I did not know all that.
Yeah, so her background, my background, we really had the front of the house and the back of the house covered. In addition to that, my son Ryan, when he got out of high school, got into the Papa John's franchise business.
Okay.
Owned the business up in Webster and really gave him a great education of how to run a small business, what to take and do, and what it's like to be committed 24/7 to what's going on. And, that was pre-children, so it kind of made it good, and he had to work through that and understand that and go from there. And after about 3.5 years, it was like, okay, I'm ready to get out of the franchise because there's just so many strings that they own you.
Sure. It's a very different experience from what
right around then, shortly after that, the deli came up for sale. So we full steam forward and started really putting our thoughts together. A lot of it was in the beginning, what is our business plan? We met with somebody on that and said, here's exactly what we're looking for. Here's what you need to put together. And I said, well, let me show you what I have you. And he said, that's good. He said, didn't send it back, didn't go to here.
That's very unusual, I must tell you.
Yeah, there was a lot of thought over the years put into it. So we really had a guidance and a direction. And the first thing we wanted to do was change the concept of the store that was there before from a convenience store to more of a neighborhood market, or if you're in the big city thing, a neighborhood bodega.
Oh.
And the bodega really is the concept of a store in a neighborhood that is designed to the neighbors in that area. Mm-hmm. If it's a store in Chinatown, it's going to really be for that demographic. If it's a store in Little Italy, it's going to be for that demographic. So living in Greece for 40 years, I felt I knew the demographics pretty well of what they were looking for, having 4 Wegmans stores in that area, knowing that in there as well. So I had to balance what was I going to do that was going to separate us and be unique from our own piece versus from where I came from.
Absolutely. Now, I just want to take you back because you said something at the very beginning that I didn't know. You said you traveled the country?
Yeah, when I first got up I was in the stores for 12 years. When
you said the stores, you mean the Wegmans stores?
Yep, Wegmans
okay.
stores. From there, I went up into the corporate office, started off as a buyer, and I worked on a direct import program. So really taking specialty cheeses from France, Italy, London, everywhere,
wow.
and how do we become the direct importer into Wegmans and buy direct? It was very much a learning curve. First off, you travel the world, you're oohed and awed by that.
Oh, yeah.
But then understanding where it was at. And it was interesting because they didn't want to do business with just one store or one business. We had to go through a wholesaler into there.
So you really learned all sorts of things.
And
wow.
when we were a single market business, and we were doing more than their 2 largest wholesalers.
Oh, my goodness.
So it was trying to convince them to say, you need to start thinking out of the box because
right.
if it's not you, we're going to look for somebody
right.
else.
So you really, but it's fascinating that you were looking all over the world for cheeses and potentially other products. And you said you were one of the first chefs for Wegmans?
Yeah.
So
my wife and I met. I was 15. She was 16. I was a busboy at Run's Restaurant. She was the co-check girl.
Oh, my.
Yes,
and
seafood and steakhouse.
How scandalous.
And, yes,
very
and
much so.
at, getting out of the restaurant business at 2 and 3 in the morning, she was almost going by my house, just a couple miles off the way, so started giving me a ride home on the weekends. And
very nice.
Next thing, everything led from there.
Yeah.
38 years?
Is that it?
It will be 37 in
37 years.
Yes,
oh
we
my
just
goodness.
celebrated 36 years.
Happy
marriage.
anniversary.
Thank you.
That's wonderful. That's really terrific. So you didn't originally work together. You worked at Wegmans, but you had a different kind of a career. In fact, your husband just alluded to the fact that you were a CFO?
Yes, I was a chief finance officer for an organization now called Education Success Network, which really evolved from when I was hired, because I retired there after 25 years, I was hired by the Norman Howard School.
Oh, yeah, that's a great place.
It's a wonderful place for children with learning disabilities, grades 5 through 12. And I worked with them and worked my way up. So when I got hired there, I came out of the restaurant business for 13 years. I was in the restaurant business. I actually was their bookkeeper for gym runs.
Very nice.
And I decided that, the restaurant business is not really the place to raise a family. I had children. I had 2 children, and I wanted something different. So I went to the Norman Howard School and I applied, and I worked part-time. And I worked my way up to office manager and then chief finance officer. And then the Norman Howard School acquired or created the foundation. Then after the foundation, they created another entity called Education Success Network, which was to expand the education process. Education Success Network now is located on Lake Avenue. They have a large campus, and I learned many, many things from my years there. I was awarded Chief Finance Officer of the Year.
Oh, wow.
With the small businesses. That was a wonderful nomination, and that I actually won. So I was very proud of that. My whole family was there. And then when he decided to buy the Deli, we both worked full time. And that's when we asked his sister and my son to run the place.
You need a little help at that point.
We definitely, and they're doing they still are doing a wonderful job. We couldn't do it without them.
And that's one of the hallmarks of the business, is it's really a family-run business. You couldn't. I mean, you are the definition of a family-run business. Everybody's involved, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm able to have control until the grandkids come in,
and then forget about it.
Then it's just their
then
store.
You're in trouble. Yeah. Right. In case you're just joining us, you're listening to Business Voice, a program of the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce, sponsored by Bartolomeo and Perotto Funeral Home. I'm Sarah Lentini, President and CEO of the Greece Regional Chamber, and I'm delighted to be here with the 2019 Small Business of the Year Award winners from Dell's Market and Deli, Bill Dell and Patty Dell, now celebrating their 36-year anniversary as husband and wife and wonderful business partners. But as we were just discussing, the business that you're running is very much a family affair, very much a family-run business. And you alluded to this, Bill, but way back when, your family had another family-owned business that some people in the area might recognize. Is that correct?
Yeah, growing up, my grandparents and then my uncles had Lapani's Bakery on Plymouth and J Street. Again,
great.
It was kind of like my grandkids are now, going to the bakery and, thinking you have the control of it all. And
right.
I worked there part-time when our kids were young and just trying to pay all the bills and understand and appreciated that business and working midnight to 8 and, 6-7 days a week. And when we decided to go after the deli, one of the pieces that we wanted to do was the logo that we use, the chef that we use, was actually the logo from the bakery.
Oh, how nice.
So I contacted my mother and my uncles and said, hey, I'm going to be opening up a small business. Here's what I want to do. And they couldn't have been happier.
Oh, how nice. So you've kept a piece of that family history.
Carried the tradition on.
You're carrying it right with you. Yeah. And is that where some of the cooking knowledge came from, or the baking knowledge came from?
I grew up in an Italian family,
you
if you love to eat, you better. I know. If you love to eat, you better learn how to cook. So
yeah, very nice. And one of the things that we were talking about before we came on air that I want to make sure we talk about is that you guys are a market and a deli. Obviously, the two of you have tremendous skills and experience that I think we've surfaced nicely. But what people may not realize is not only do you have great products, but you do catering as well, right? Tell us a little bit about what somebody could be thinking about when they think about Dell's. Why should they call you?
Interesting. When we first started off catering we really went into it slower, trying to understand what the neighborhood wanted. My last year at Wegmans, our really first year of catering at the deli, we had what we felt was a pretty good year. Then in 2018, what we did in December, we did in all of 2017. Wow. So we really gained the confidence within the community, and not only the people that hired us to do a catering event, but the people that were at those events are now turning around and calling us.
That's great.
We're all over the place. We're making deliveries to Batavia. We're out in Canandaigual.
Wow.
We're in Genesee.
So somebody from Canandaigual could be calling you to ask you if you would consider
We were just in
catering.
Albion at the senior home.
Wow.
And again, just wherever they want us to be, we're happy to be. And whether it's a simple sub tray for 8 to 10 people for a kid's sporting event or a business luncheon or whatever, to we've done 200, 300 people for big events. We've done, private parties at homes for 100 people.
So if somebody's trying to get ready for the holidays, because we've got a couple of them coming up, they could think of you, and you could cater a meal.
And it's not just subs. It's chicken French. It's tenderloin. It's
pasta Alfredo.
Absolutely. Caesar salad.
I haven't eaten
wonderful
yet, so
pies.
Again, really, whatever you want, we can do.
Wow.
We did a large event down at the Fringe Festival.
Oh, did you?
We did. We catered a large event, and they had crab-stuffed mushrooms,
crab cakes, sliced tenderloin, chicken lollipops with a sesame ginger glaze, shrimp cocktail.
Yes.
Again, it was they looked at their top 100 customers and said, we really want to show them how much we appreciate them. So they came to us and said, create a menu. I really want to blow them away.
That's great.
And they've worked with us before, so they knew what we were capable of. We worked out a menu, and the rest was history. And we're again, it's 100 people, 200. And it's a word-of-mouth business,
right. Yeah.
and it doesn't matter what side of town they're on. They want somebody that they can trust, and we always try to do the little extras.
Yeah.
A lot of people are in catering, and it's the same old sub tray, it's the same old vegetable tray. This past weekend, we had a food for a baby shower, and again, the whole thing was done up in a pink theme with baby rattles and carriages and this and that, and again, just exceeded everybody's expectations of what they were getting. So
yeah, this is not what you would expect from a market and deli. To be honest, the name doesn't begin to even cover what it is that you offer to the community. So if somebody wants to get in touch with you, somebody is interested in the catering business, especially with the holidays coming up, how do they do that?
Well, first I would do two things. One is I would go on our Facebook page. You can see everything out there. We usually put highlight pictures out there almost daily of everything we do. In addition to that, if you go to dellsmarket.com, you can look at there under catering. We have it broken out whether you're looking for party trays, whether you're looking for appetizers or full entree pans, the chicken French, the fresh meatballs, the pasta Alfredo, whatever it may be. And if you're looking for something and you don't see it, let's certainly talk about it, and let's come up with a menu that's going to work. And
so that's important for people to know. Yeah. That you guys will work with a customer to come up with a menu that works for them.
It's not just about taking the order.
Right.
It's about understanding the event, and that's a big piece of it, is just getting a little bit more detail before you start cooking.
That sounds great. What's that web address again?
www.dellsmarket.com.
And it's DELLS?
Yep.
No apostrophe on the
apostrophe.
Dells. DELLS, dellsmarket.com. Dellsmarket.com. Bill and Patty Dell, it's been so lovely having you on Business Voice, and I want to congratulate you both again on 36 years of marriage and being the 2019 Small Business of the Year. Dell's Market and Deli. You got to come back and see me again right here on Business Voice.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, don't go away. We've got lots coming up, so don't turn that dial. We'll be right back.
More than 20,000 watts of truth. WYSL AM 1040, FM 92.1 and 95.5 West.
Need help with health insurance? The Greece Regional Chamber provides assistance with health insurance for businesses, nonprofits, families, and individuals throughout our region. We pride ourselves on the personalized service that we provide for our clients. Let us help you find health insurance plans that fit your needs and navigate the paperwork. Greece Chamber Benefit Partners, located at 2402 Westridge Road in Rochester, New York, offers a broad range of medical insurance plans for businesses, nonprofits, individuals, and families throughout the greater Rochester Finger Lakes region, working with insurance companies including Excelis Blue Cross Blue Shield, Univera, and MVP Healthcare. We can also help you access insurance plans through the New York State of Health, the official health plan marketplace. Again, you do not need to live or work in Greece to utilize our brokerage services. We serve the greater Rochester Finger Lakes region of New York State. Visit greecechamber.org to sign up for one of our free health insurance information sessions or schedule an appointment with one of our licensed brokers. Call 585-227-7272. 585-227-7272.
The loss of a loved one can be an overwhelming time of hectic activity and high emotion. Remembering and celebrating the lives of those who have passed is important and fulfilling. A meaningful farewell, focusing on their life story, can help with healing. Some families turn to the clergy at their church to capture the essence of a person's life. However, those who may not be connected with the church may worry there is no one to fulfill this important role. At Bartolomeo and Perotto, we believe that a life remembered lives on. One of our trained funeral celebrants can help you thoughtfully design and organize your loved one's treasured memories and ensure that the story of their life is not forgotten. Discover how you can create a meaningful farewell. Visit Bartolomeo.com or call us today at 585-720-6000.
At Canandaigual National Bank and Trust, we understand that each business has its own unique financial needs. We also recognize that it takes a collection of banking services to meet them. That is why we assemble a team of financial experts to provide deposit, lending, and cash management solutions to meet them. Let us put our market knowledge and local decision-making to work for you. Canandaigual National Bank and Trust, investing in you, your business, and your community. Deposit Products member FDIC.
RadiantHire Solutions is igniting growth in the Rochester and Buffalo areas for manufacturing, healthcare, legal firms, and industries small and large. They help companies hire and retain their top employees while increasing revenue so they can stay focused on their core business. Having difficulty finding and retaining top performers for your industry? Give them a call. They work with all types of positions, from manufacturing and executive level to technical and healthcare and everything in between. Their onboarding programs have helped all types of businesses retain their top employees. Or perhaps you need a partner to meet your sales needs without the ramp-up time and turnover of an in-house team. Schedule a free consultation to see how outsourcing sales can benefit your business. They also offer exclusive discounts and special consideration for Grease Chamber members. Where does your business need more support? Give us a call, and we'll be with you every step of the way. Visit RadiantHireSolutions.com or call 585-734-3905.
So you tried to fix your own plumbing and the bathroom is flooded. Nice work. Don't make the same mistake twice by building your website yourself. Let the experts at SiteHub build a world-class site to match your world-class business. One that generates leads, sales, and wows visitors. Talk to SiteHub today, 585-300-4640, and online at yoursitehub.com. SiteHub, voted best in digital marketing by Tech Rochester 2 years running.
If you're looking to market and grow your business, make new business connections, and give back to the community in a meaningful way, consider joining the Grease Regional Chamber of Commerce. We're the largest suburban chamber in Monroe County, and we offer networking, education, marketing, insurance, and advocacy. You do not need to live or work in Grease to join. Our members come from throughout the region. In short, we're better together, and together, we're moving business forward. Visit greasechamber.org or call 585-227-7272 to join today.
The new power of freedom. WYSL. AM 1040, FM 92.1 and 95.5.
Welcome back. I'm Sarah Lentini, and you're listening to Business Voice, a program of the Grease Regional Chamber of Commerce, sponsored by Bartolomeo and Perotto Funeral Home. I'm delighted to welcome my next guest. She's been here before, Sydney Underwood from Complete Payroll. Welcome, Sydney.
Thank you, Sarah.
It's great to have you back.
I'm very excited to be back.
Let's start by just telling people very quickly what Complete Payroll is.
Yes.
It's a little bit self-explanatory from the title, but where's the company based? How old is it? And what kind of services, sort of, at a 20,000-foot level do you offer?
Absolutely. So we've actually been in business for 27 years now. We come from Perry, New York, so right near Letchworth State Park. Nice. We also have offices, though, in Amherst and also in Henrietta. Oh. So we service most of Western New York. We have a lot of clients based right here, but we also do span out to the rest of the country, believe it or not.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes, absolutely. So we do a lot of payroll for Massachusetts, Pennsylvania. Oh. So yeah, we're a little bit wider than I think most people know about. We obviously specialize in payroll services, but we also have our timekeeping platforms as well as human capital management. Really anything that coordinates with payroll, we've got our hands in. But we do like to stay focused on payroll.
You've got a core business, and you're very aware of what it is.
Absolutely. We're the professionals on payroll.
So talk to me a little bit about, what was it, time record keeping?
Yes, absolutely.
What does that look like?
So time and attendance is a big part of today's workforce. When it comes to the Department of Labor and keeping records on the hours that your employees worked, of course, you want a centralized location for that. So we offer a cloud-based solution that allows your employees to clock in, clock out, but it does more than that as well. So today's labor force, maybe they're not clocking in and out, maybe they're salaried employees, but you still want some type of idea for budgeting purposes where they're spending their time. So we do have attendance keepers and scheduling modules to help with that. And then also for tracking things like paid time off or your vacation or your sick time, we also have a system that will coordinate with that. Now, the best part about any software that we use is it integrates with our payroll software. So you're not going to have, multiple. You'll have, these systems that integrate together. So once you get all of the hours tracked for your employees, it's really just a button or two that you push and it goes right into payroll. So no double entry.
That's great. Now, what if I'm the kind of business where I don't want to deal with an online system? I don't want to have to, sit and do data entry. Maybe that's not my comfort zone. Are you able to accommodate somebody who wants to email you payroll information? Yes?
Yeah, absolutely. So whenever we're meeting with a client, we really like to consult with them and figure out how we can best fit their needs. And we get a lot of questions that we see coming mostly because they've been with our competitors in the past and they think they need to fit into a certain type of box. Well, we really like to customize it so that we fit their idea of what's right for payroll. So it could be calling into your customer service representative who's dedicated. And actually, we've got 7 times the industry standard for customer service representative retention. So you'll get to know that person. They're your dedicated rep, and they'll get to know your business as well. On top of that, you can also fax. If you'd like to fax, you can email. There's a lot of different ways that you're able to enter payroll. So we're just here to suit your needs.
I think what a great message that is. I think especially right now, more and more systems, more companies, but also beyond companies, more systems are kind of requiring the general public to adhere to their preferred method of getting information, and often there aren't a whole lot of choices, and that can be very frustrating, and especially for people who are, perhaps don't have the right equipment, or perhaps just don't have the comfort level, as I was saying earlier, and would really prefer to to do things in a more traditional way. So that's wonderful news. And I think that might be why people don't think of you as the big national company that you are.
Right.
Is because you also have a very
local presence.
A very local presence and a very tailored local kind of an approach.
Right. And
individualized for people, which is
and we
really
really
nice.
like to stay true to that model.
Right.
That's something that sets us apart.
Yep.
Obviously, service is something that most people will say that they've got top-notch service, right? But we really do prove it. We go above and beyond in every touch that we have with our clients. And so, we service 1 employee companies to 1,000. I think our largest client is actually 1,600 employees. But they stay with us because they get the hands-on approach that 1 employee company gets from us as well.
That's great. So you mentioned a third sort of bucket or area, and that had to do with basically human resources, right? I can't remember the language you used, but tell me.
So human capital management tends to be the trend. Yeah, or you might hear human resource information software.
Okay.
And so it's really just about keeping track of your employees, and it does integrate with payroll because things like compensation and reviews, those obviously have to do with payroll and pay rates.
Okay.
And so we have a system that we believe is very easy to use. Again, we try and keep things very simplified for our customers. What we find with competitors at times with these large human capital management softwares, they introduce them, but they only use maybe 10% of this system because it's very overwhelming. We offer training always free of charge. We want them to use at least 90% of the system we're putting in front of them. So whether that's record keeping on their employees, maybe they need to track employee documentation, they need to track that their employee signed off on their handbook or policies, they've got performance reviews coming up, maybe it's a client that has some type of license, maybe they're a healthcare provider and we need to track continued education, or they have a CDL license and we need to track expiration dates or physicals on that. Maybe they just want a better way to have their employees electronically enroll in benefits or to track applicants as they're coming through or onboard employees if they've got high turnover. That's where that system really has a sweet spot.
And is it a system that is proprietary? Is it something that you guys developed and own? Is it a system that gets used by a lot of different payroll companies?
I wouldn't say that a lot of payroll companies use it. It's actually owned by Assure, which you might have heard in the Rochester market recently.
Yep.
And so we license that software. And we do have a direct line with them, and we're actually one of their early adopters. So we help develop that software with them.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So you know the software very well if you help to shape it. Yeah.
I'll be bold and say I think we know it the best of any of their bureaus. Yes.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense based on what you're saying, that you would indeed know it very, very well.
Yes.
That's great. Tell me a little bit about you. I mean, how did you come to be working for, and I didn't even ask you, what is your role specifically for the company, and then how did you come to be working for Complete Payroll?
Right. So I actually I'm from Nunde, so I'm a local girl.
Absolutely.
Complete Payroll definitely has some local brand recognition. I came actually from 5 Star Bank. That's where I worked previously. And then I saw the opening actually for the training position at Complete Payroll. I did a lot of training in my previous roles, and so I jumped into Complete Payroll as a trainer. I then took on their implementation department, so I managed that for 2 years. And just, implementation. That's when you're coming from paychecks to Complete Payroll, they're the ones responsible for transitioning everything. And it's actually a really popular time of year to be speaking about transition, because as of 1/1, you get a clean break if you move from one payroll company to another. So it's really appealing for a lot of people to make the change now if they're going to make it.
I was just going to say, so this is a timely conversation.
Yes.
So if somebody wanted to make a change in payroll companies, this would be the turn of the year is really the perfect moment to do it.
Yeah, it's a great time to do that.
That's great.
Early on in the year as well. So,
Right.
Maybe the timing isn't perfect for a 1/1 start date, but early on in the year, you don't have a lot of wages that are being tracked. There hasn't been any quarterly filing. And so it's a really popular time for people to start exploring their options.
That's great. And you do training for the company. Does that mean that you're training other employees? Does it mean that you're training customers? Because you mentioned you provide free training on, all the different software modules that you offer, or do you do both?
So for our company, we have an external trainer who provides free training on all of our softwares. So there's not a single software that we have that we don't provide free training for.
That's great.
And it's continuous. It can be repetitive. So if you hire someone new at your company, we will train them too.
Great.
And so the first thing that we do once we activate an account, we set them up for training. So they go through that training, and that's all through our implementation department. We do things very differently through transition. And for me, currently, my role is the regional sales manager for Rochester, and it makes it very easy, to speak to the transition process when I know I have a team behind me that is so well versed.
So you do more than training; you do sales.
Yes, and actually, I don't do training anymore. That's how I started at Complete Payroll.
Okay.
We still have that position, but I only do sales at this time. Yeah.
So you're really in the business development side of the house.
Yes.
So are you working with a particular geography, or you end up throughout the region?
I end up throughout the region,
Right?
yeah. So for our sales department, I think one of the biggest pulls for me to make that transition, I obviously know payroll inside and out, and our software's inside and out from having trained it for so long. And so I think when they decided to pull me into this role, there was a real opportunity to get out in front of our prospects and help them with the question marks that they had in their head. What's going to be difficult about this transition? What can I expect from your software versus another software? Complex payroll issues like certified payroll or prevailing wages. They really want somebody who can speak their language. And so now I get to be out in front of those people every single day, and I get to help them make those decisions.
That's great. In case you're just joining us, you're listening to Business Voice, a program of the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce, sponsored by Bartolomeo and Perotto Funeral Home. I'm Sarah Lentini, and I'm here with Sydney Underwood. I love your name. I've said that to you before, right, Sydney? Sydney Underwood of Complete Payroll. And learning a little bit about what makes Complete Payroll sort of stand out, what distinguishes them, and certainly training is coming across as a very big component of what you have to offer. And it sounded as though you do an awful lot of tailoring to individual businesses as well.
We do.
And will you go to the business, not just to meet with them originally, but also if they need training, do you provide training on site for the business, or does the business need to travel?
So in order for our training to remain free of charge, we do a remote screen sharing session where we link up and we actually have them drive, so to speak.
Got it.
So the new user will actually control the training themselves, and we'll coach them along the way in a live session.
Oh, that's great.
So we're able to facilitate a lot of trainings that way. But then to your point, after that initial meeting, we call it the current client initiative. We're always out in front of our current clients, meeting with them to make sure we're still meeting their expectations, making sure that things haven't changed too much since they've come aboard with us, and also sharing with them how we've changed, if there's new services that they might need or new efficiencies we might be able to implement for them.
So that's great. You can sit right at your desk in your office, is what you're saying, right?
Yes.
Which is where you're going to be.
Right
on the equipment you're going to be using.
In your own software.
In your own space. And you're kind of guiding the train, but you've got training wheels. You've got a voice in your ear.
You've got a voice,
yes. That can help. They can say, no,
yes.
You really want to go
and
there.
And it'll always be your own database. So it's not something that we just threw a demo together for you. It's actually what you'll be processing payroll out of.
So that's perfect. That sounds like great training, and very comfortable training at that. So can't make it easier than that, I don't think.
We get some good feedback from it, definitely.
I bet that you do. So, quality, accessibility, making it easy, tailoring things, and obviously providing a lot of training and having sort of a depth of potential integration of different components. All of that sounds great.
Yeah.
How's pricing? How does pricing work? Because I think that's one of the things that people think about when they think of payroll company. They think, at the end of the day, maybe they're not even compelled that there's a huge difference between one payroll company or another. Although, I think you've done a great job of explaining some of the things that make you guys special. But how does pricing work? Does all that mean that you guys are more expensive?
Right. I actually love when the conversation goes to pricing. So I think everyone's a little afraid of that, but I'd love to talk about it openly. So first of all, as far as our pricing is concerned, at the book value, we're actually much less expensive than our competitors.
Really? Oh.
Yes. Now, here's the tricky part. What we find when we're speaking with a lot of our prospects, they treat payroll maybe kind of like a cable company or, Dish versus DirecTV, where they're flip-flopping based on how the pricing is going. And maybe they're in a year contract or a 2-year contract, and they're always, looking to switch companies to get the pricing that they're comfortable with. We always are fair and we're consistent. And so we don't go in right up front with a 20 to 50% discount that's just going to disappear within a few months or within the first year. And now they're stuck with either keeping this extensive pricing or they make a transition and they keep flip-flopping. So we really like to stop that trend. We get in there and we show them our pricing, and usually the first question is, all right, how much of a discount are you giving us then? What are you looking at for discount? Because usually when they're comparing prices, we're so much less expensive, they assume that we've put a big discount on there. We haven't. We're very transparent with our pricing, and so we like them to know up front what they're going to be facing in the next year, 2 years, 5, 10. We've got clients that have been with us for 27 years.
Wow.
So, they should expect consistent pricing from us, and that's what we're going to give them right off the bat.
That's great. And it really goes a long way toward explaining both your growth and also your longevity.
Right.
That's terrific to hear. So one of the things that I want to make sure we mention is that not only do you provide all the information that you've and assistance that you just described, but you play a really important role. As payroll companies do, in helping a business owner or helping an HR director with new hires, correct?
Right.
Yeah, and you're going to be. I'm delighted that you're going to be actually presenting on this at the Greece Regional Chamber at our third Thursday luncheon on Thursday, January 16th, which I think is going to be a great service. New year. Starting a new year and taking a look at new hires and new hire packages. So, is that something that you can speak to a little bit?
Yeah, I think whether it's your first employee, your 5th, your 100th employee, there's a lot of regulation that goes along with new hires. And so what we've done is taken from all of our resources, we've compacted that into a new hire packet.
Nice.
And so it's always free and available on our website. I want to mention that at CompletePayroll.com. But that's really what we would be focusing on when we're presenting to you is that packet, which includes, of course, the I-9, the W-4, employee information sheets, all of the regulations that you're going to have to follow. But then on top of that, so that maybe that's your first employer, getting used to that documentation, and we're helping you with that. But then we consistently update our clients on new regulations as they come through, as it affects new hiring. So Complete Payroll is going to take the work out of the research for our clients because we're going to consistently send them those notifications to let them know something big's happening.
Yeah, that's terrific. We're very excited that you're going to be presenting on new hires, the latest on what the new hire package should look like. As I said, at the Greece Regional Chamber on January 16th for our third Thursday luncheon. So it's from noon to 1:30. Anybody interested can register at greecechamber.org. But even more importantly, if somebody is interested in learning more about Complete Payroll, say once again, what is the website for Complete Payroll?
It's CompletePayroll.com.
Couldn't be easier.
Easy enough.
CompletePayroll.com. Sydney Underwood, Complete Payroll, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you so much,
Voice.
Sarah.
You're very welcome. All right, we've got one last guest. Don't go away. We're going to be right back.
You're listening to the voice of liberty. AM 1040 Avon, Rochester, FM 92.1 Rochester, FM 95.5 Spencerport, and WYSL 1040.com everywhere.
Need help with health insurance? The Greece Regional Chamber provides assistance with health insurance for businesses, nonprofits, families, and individuals throughout our region. We pride ourselves on the personalized service that we provide for our clients. Let us help you find health insurance plans that fit your needs and navigate the paperwork. Greece Chamber Benefit Partners, located at 2402 Westridge Road in Rochester, New York, offers a broad range of medical insurance plans for businesses, nonprofits, individuals, and families throughout the greater Rochester Finger Lakes region, working with insurance companies including Excelis Blue Cross Blue Shield, Univera, and MVP Healthcare. We can also help you access insurance plans through the New York State of Health, the official health plan marketplace. Again, you do not need to live or work in Greece to utilize our brokerage services. We serve the greater Rochester Finger Lakes region of New York State. Visit greecechamber.org to sign up for one of our free health insurance information sessions or schedule an appointment with one of our licensed brokers. Call 585-227-7272. 585-227-7272.
The loss of a loved one can be an overwhelming time of hectic activity and high emotion. Remembering and celebrating the lives of those who have passed is important and fulfilling. A meaningful farewell, focusing on their life story, can help with healing. Some families turn to the clergy at their church to capture the essence of a person's life. However, those who may not be connected with the church may worry there is no one to fulfill this important role. At Bartolomeo and Perotto, we believe that a life remembered lives on. One of our trained funeral celebrants can help you thoughtfully design and organize your loved one's treasured memories and ensure that the story of their life is not forgotten. Discover how you can create a meaningful farewell. Visit Bartolomeo.com or call us today at 585-720-6000.
So you tried to fix your own plumbing and the bathroom is flooded. Nice work. Don't make the same mistake twice by building your website yourself. Let the experts at SiteHub build a world-class site to match your world-class business. One that generates leads, sales, and wows visitors. Talk to SiteHub today, 585-300-4640, and online at yoursitehub.com. SiteHub, voted best in digital marketing by Tech Rochester 2 years running.
AVO Resource Solutions, LLC offers non-medical private personal care for seniors, adults, and children with varying levels of functioning ability and needs, including in-home personal care, household chores, transportation, and companion service at any time of day. The hands-on care provided by AVO's teams of professional, certified, reliable, trustworthy, and well-trained in-home aides allows family members to experience a better quality of life and to live independently in the comfort of their own homes. Call Linda at 585-764-8516 or visit AVOResourceSolutionsLLC.com.
Depositing your money with Genesee Regional Bank helps strengthen the local community. That's because GRB lends its deposits to local businesses and individuals so they can grow and prosper. From your favorite bakery to your family dentist to the technology company where your neighbor works to helping families buy a home. That keeps Rochester rock solid. Become a GRB client today. Genesee Regional Bank. Community banking, community building.
Visit grbbank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 417491.
If you're looking to market and grow your business, make new business connections, and give back to the community in a meaningful way, consider joining the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce. We're the largest suburban chamber in Monroe County, and we offer networking, education, marketing, insurance, and advocacy. You do not need to live or work in Greece to join. Our members come from throughout the region. In short, we're better together, and together, we're moving business forward. Visit greecechamber.org or call 585-227-7272 to join today.
The one media outlet you can count on. The voice of liberty. The WYSL stations.
Welcome back. I'm Sarah Lentini, and you're listening to Business Voice, a program of the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce, sponsored by Bartolomeo and Perotto Funeral Home. And I'm delighted to welcome my next guest, Michael Rudd of Aspire Capital. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you for having me today. I appreciate it, Sarah. And thanks for the quick turnaround for my request. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome. So, Michael, you've got an exciting, relatively new business, right? Aspire Capital is a business that you started how long ago now?
Aspire Capital is, the conception and the actual launch is a little over a year now.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. I appreciate that. And it's been very exciting, and things are really starting to take off, and I'm very happy, very fortunate. I think the big guy upstairs is looking down on me a little bit these days. So
that always helps.
Yes, it does. It's one of those things where if you got him on your side, everything is going to work out pretty good.
Yeah, you got that right. So you're originally from the region, right? You're originally from the Greater Rochester area?
Yes, I am. I went to Gates Challenge High School.
Heard of it?
Class of 87. And I'm a Rochesterian through and through.
Through and through. It's an area you like the area. You're committed to the area, but you do a lot of business. You do a lot of business all over the country. Is that correct?
Yes. To say I like the area from May to probably the end of October.
Oh, that's just a Rochesterian. We all say that.
As far as doing business, yes, I'm doing business throughout the country right now, and it's. Like I said, very fortunate and a very exciting time for me.
That's great. And we haven't really said what the business is. I mean, the name kind of gives it away, but what is it that you do? Are you offering financing, and to whom?
Well, let me tell you a little bit about how I came to launching this company, and then I'll tell you exactly what I do. Having been in the field for a certain number of years, you always get first-party view of what's going on and see how it impacts not only the borrower but the financial institution. And I saw that there's definitely a gap in how people are either being treated, whether it's a small little residential home or the multi-million-dollar commercial entity. And I took it upon myself to say, you want to know something? I think there's an opportunity here. And so then I started Aspire Capital, and with the intention of, one, building relationships first with customers and then soliciting business. And what I do is I facilitate and I educate. I facilitate people by bringing the lender and the principal together to hopefully have a symbiotic relationship in which possibly could lead to repeat business. But during that time, I'm also educating and trying to show individuals what I think is the best case scenario for them and their lending needs, whether it's a short-term loan, long-term loan. And I also educate them at the risk profile of exactly how they're looking from a risk perspective. And what I mean by that is no two lending companies are going to look at risk the same way. It all depends what their product is and how it pertains to that client. So what I do is I educate these people accordingly and say, okay, from your risk profile, I feel this is the best case scenario for you, and this lender is on board and is willing to offer you said product as it pertains to your risk profile.
So you work your clients are businesses, correct? Not only?
Well, to say they're businesses, it's kind of a generalization. Believe it or not, there are a lot of individuals who also solicit commercial lending.
Okay.
What they do is they look at a commercial asset, whether it be a multifamily building, and they say, well, I want that. And what they'll do, they'll go about it the same way that a commercial entity, a business, would want to pursue that, and they acquire lending the same way. So the gambit goes from all the way the individual to companies of a few hundred people trying to expand their operations with brick and mortar building.
And you, if I remember correctly, you started was it the commercial lending?
No, I actually started in residential. In
residential, but was it for a big bank, right?
Yes, it was. It was for JP Morgan Chase. It was a great experience. Hopefully, some of my former employees will be listening to this at some point.
Nice.
I hope they were.
Right.
I had the number one underwriting team at JP Morgan Chase.
Wow, the number one.
Yeah, for numerous years.
That's great.
And it's a tribute to the people that worked for me. And that's how I got the, I guess, the fever to go farther and more in depth into the lending arena. I got my firsthand knowledge of risk profiles for individuals. Mm-hmm. But obviously, risk is risk, whether it transcends to residential lending all the way to commercial lending. So I love what I do. I loved it back then, and I love it now. So I'm very excited.
And you're still doing a little bit of, you're doing commercial and residential still,
yes,
correct?
I'm doing residential too. My residential is with Upstate Mortgage, and they're holding my NMLS, and it's a fantastic company. They're very flexible. They allow me to do both the commercial and the residential. platforms. And yes, it's the residential is, for lack of a better word, more personal because it's an individual buying a home, and it's 9 out of 10 times there's a lot of feelings involved. The commercial is one of these things where it's more in depth, but it's not as personal, and so you get, I guess you get the feeling of at the end of the day, if you can help someone out, whether it's a home or a business, you win on both ends.
Yeah, and so just bear with me. I want to make sure that I'm understanding. So you're not the person lending the money.
No,
you're not
I'm
a bank.
not.
You're not a lender. And you're certainly not the person borrowing the money and either purchasing something or developing something. But you're helping to bring those two sides together.
Yes, I facilitate.
You
yes,
facilitate. And does that so? And how big or how small do I mean how, if I'm just a Joe Public, I'm probably not your ideal customer.
Not
correct?
true. No, not true.
Okay.
I will not turn down business. I don't believe in that because if you treat everyone fairly, whether it's a small, little opportunity or a big opportunity, and you can help them one way or another, it's going to be beneficial. And if you turn in a positive experience travels very far, and it leads to more business.
So if I'm Joe Public and I'm contemplating a business venture for the first time, maybe I see that there's a deli that's for sale, and that's part of my dream. I'm thinking about Bill Dell. We interviewed him just a few minutes ago, and he was talking about having had a dream and having identified a business that he wanted to purchase when the business owner was ready to retire. Would you have been a good person for him to consult with? And,
absolutely.
And does that cost money? How does that work? I mean, because
well,
it sounds
as a
like
broker,
it could be
you don't
expensive.
get paid until the deal closes. So
Okay.
I have no upfront fees.
Okay.
Whether it's a small little $5,000 loan all the way up to, I don't like to toot my own horn, but I actually just finalized a debt deal for $155 million.
Wow.
So obviously there's a big range in
Sure
between
is,
those
yeah.
two. And I also do debt and equity. So if people are looking for equity partners, I have a vast array of equity partners that are always looking to get involved as a joint venture partner for said products. From a residential standpoint, I've done loans as low as $50,000.
Oh, wow.
And I've done loans up to $400,000. So, like I said, I treat everyone, every product, every person the same way, whether it's a small loan or a big loan. And it's the same satisfaction, whether it's, like I said, a small little, as you called it, Johnny Residential,
right,
or
Joe Public.
Joe Public, you
Right.
know, all the way up to CEOs of companies. You know,
Right.
I feel good at the end of the day because I know I helped them.
That's wonderful. In case you're just joining us, you're listening to Business Voice, a program of the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce, sponsored by Bartolomeo and Perotto. I'm Sarah Lentini, and we're talking with Michael Rudd, the owner of a relatively new business, Aspire Capital, based right here in the greater Rochester region. In fact, I think you're based pretty much in Greece, aren't you?
North Greece, out by
Greece.
the lake. Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. And it sounds as though you will work with both individuals and businesses, right?
Yes.
That are looking to either borrow money or for acquisition or for development. Does that sound about right?
I will work with any individual for any lending opportunity I possibly can. I don't say no.
Right.
Obviously, it's got to have a real meaning to it or something behind it or carry some weight. I do not do car loans. I want to make it clear.
There's a limit.
Yes, no car loans. But any type of, if it has to do with a brick and mortar building or possible working capital for a business, I'm more than happy to get a phone call or sit down with a cup of coffee and see what I can do for you.
And the fact that you had the number one, what was it, at J.P. Morgan Chase?
I had the number one underwriting team for, I think it was 7 years in a row.
Oh, wow. That's quite something.
Yeah.
So you're bringing a lot of experience to the table. And it's great to hear that there are no upfront fees. So somebody related, there's no risk. I'm not hearing any downside to sitting down and having that cup of coffee with you, right?
No, there isn't. And actually, I'll pay for the coffee if need be.
Nice.
But,
really can't go wrong now.
No, like I said, there are no upfront fees. I'd be more than happy to sit down and educate you, too, to see if there's anything I can do to help you, whether it's a commercial or a residential opportunity.
That's wonderful. Now, how do people get in touch with you, Michael?
Well, my phone number and my email address. My phone number is 585-415-0188, and you can call at any time. If I don't answer, please leave a message, a detailed message. And then I have two email addresses. One is Michael, Michael, at financed, FINANCEDBYASPIRE.com. And the second one is Michael, yet again, and it's Get Financed by Aspire. That's from the commercial perspective. From a residential perspective, you can contact me at mrudd@up-mortgage.com. I have to separate the two. That way I don't get all my communication or things all garbled up, and then everyone knows. I don't want to send someone a $10 million deal who's looking for a $50,000 home.
Yep,
you know what I mean?
You get relatively different markets
Yes,
there.
yes,
Absolutely.
I do.
Yep. And if all else fails, you can also always find Aspire Capital. Since you're a member of the Greece Regional Chamber, go to greecechamber.org and look under our member directory, greecechamber.org, for Michael Rudd of Aspire Capital. Before I let you go, I just want to know, so you've been doing this a long time. Did you always know you wanted to do this? Is this the kind of, are you just somebody who always was into numbers, or particularly, what has appealed to you about this field?
I've always had the entrepreneur bug. I always thought, you know what would it be like to work for me? I've always liked numbers. Yes, I'm a numbered guy. I guess if anyone were to ask, you put me in an English class, I'm lost. But if you put me in a math class, I can pretty much hold my own. I enjoy numbers. I enjoy doing calculations. And, you know, I don't want to say it's playing with money, but it's kind of playing with money and negotiating. And I really do enjoy those two things more than anything.
And being able to help other people who maybe aren't as comfortable in the world of structuring a deal in order to come out as well as possible, being able to help them. I could hear you already saying that you get a lot of satisfaction out of that.
I do. I love it. Yeah. I do. I tell you, you know, a lot of people at 5 o'clock, they look and they're like, I'm done for the day. I actually have to have my significant other come on in and tell me, honey, why don't you get away from the computer a little bit, call it a day, or else I will stay and work to 9, 10 o'clock at night because, like I said, I really do like it.
That's great. You can't ask for better than that, working in a field and doing something that you love so much that it doesn't feel like work at all. That's fantastic, and how nice that you have a passion for helping others. Michael Rudd, Aspire Capital. Michael Rudd at Aspire Capital, thank you so much for joining us today on Business Voice. Well, that just about wraps it up today on Business Voice. I just want to thank our guests, Bill and Patty Dell of Dell's Market in Deli, our 2019 Small Business of the Year award winners, Sydney Underwood of Complete Payroll, and, of course, Michael Rudd from Aspire Capital, LLC. It's been great talking with all three of them. We've got lots going on at the Greece Regional Chamber, tons of events, many of them open to both members and non-members. And, of course, it is open enrollment season, and we are able to help you meet all of your medical, dental, and vision needs. So please do check us out on the web at greecechamber.org. Again, that's greecechamber.org. And you've been listening to Business Voice, a program of the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce, sponsored by Bartolomeo and Perotto Funeral Home. I'm Sarah Lentini, and I look forward to talking with you next month right here on Business Voice.
You've been listening to Business Voice. The Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce serves businesses, nonprofits, and individuals throughout the region, focusing on promoting economic and community development and serving as the voice for business. The Chamber offers networking, education, advocacy, community events, and business services. It serves as an important platform for business leaders and citizens to come together in support of common goals.